Hey lovely sexy hobby people, welcome to today's video, which is the review for Warhammer Stormbringer issue 69, and it's another Domicile Shell. So have a look at the plastic in a mo. Oh, we get a trifold with this one. Cool, let's have a look at that, shall we? Armies of Giran, so Sylvaneth, Maggotkin of Nurgle, Ideneth Deepkin, Stormcast Eternals, Cities of Sigmar, Realm of Life, the Everspring Swathe, and then Hammer Howl, the Living City, Greywater Fastness, and then Phoenicium. Cool. Right, let's have a look, shall we? Grimnir, Doomseeker. Oh, Grimnir was the Fire Slayer's god of war. He survived the destruction of the world that was and awoke in Akshi during the Age of Myth. He found many Duardin there, and Grimnir quickly became their patron god, teaching them the ways of war and forging them into the civilization known as the Fire Slayers. Catastrophe struck, and Grimnir, along with his brother Grumni, was imprisoned upon a mountaintop in Shamon. After many fruitless attempts to escape, their plight was discovered by Sigmar, the God King, who broke their chains with a mighty blow from his hammer, Galmaraz. In payment for his debt, Grimnir undertook to slay an ancient evil known as Volcatrix, the mother of salamanders. The two met in mortal combat over the mountains of Akshi. Grimnir struck a fatal blow, but in her death spasms, Volcatrix entwined Grimnir in her embrace. Her poison claws tore through Grimnir's flesh, and the two titans died together. Okay. And then Grumni, Great Maker, so the Great Abandonment. Grumni is the smith god of the Duardin. In payment for a debt to Sigmar, he used his skill to craft the Storm Vaults and to help create the Stormcast Eternals. However, during the Age of Chaos, he went into a self-imposed exile, leaving his people to their fate, valuing their independence above all other concerns. Grumni's return. Resentment grew among the Duardin, but they proved equal to the challenge, and the great Duardin civilizations flourished despite Grumni's absence. Now Grumni has returned to the mortal realms. He has used his skill to create a new type of armour called Thunderstrike armour for Sigmar's warriors. Oh, aye. Right, okay, so we now get our how to build the Domicile Shell and then how to paint. So it's all fairly basic, to be quite honest. Domicile Shell. Then we're having some extra scenery details, so crystals, wraithbone, and then optional steps to do that. I think I painted my crystals green. Lava, tentacles. I do like these tentacles, they're pretty cool. Bones, and then the bottles and bowls, etc. in those scenery bits. Sylvaneth battle trait from the woodland depths. Okay, so what are we doing? Battle trait tutorial. Walk the hidden paths and strike and fade. Walk the hidden paths can be used on a single Sylvaneth unit at the end of the movement phase during your turn. It allows the unit to travel to another part of the battlefield as long as they are wholly within 9 inches of an overgrown terrain feature. Well, that's handy. And then strike and fade. Strike and fade can be used on a single Sylvaneth unit during the combat phase immediately after the unit has fought. It allows the unit to travel away from the combat before the enemy can strike back, as long as they are wholly within 9 inches of an overgrown terrain feature. Cool. That strike and fade is probably more useful. Depending on how many times in in a round or in a game you can use it. Loom boss on giant cave squig. Their pros and cons. So they are a fast mover and squiggly bonuses, but they the glass cannon. The loom boss on giant cave squig has unremarkable wounds, save and bravery characteristics, which is not ideal for an offensive unit that will be in the thick of fighting. Okay. So basically glass cannon referring to how squishy it is. Scragrot the Loom King. So prognosticator and portable moon. So prognosticator, Scragrot can use his predictive powers to say where the bad moon will be on the next turn, allowing you more control over which units the bad moon affects. But he has weak defense. Then we're into Battle Plan 9. Flame and Fury Arcane Ruins. So here we go. So we're using the Domicile Shell again by the look of it. Right, here we go. Alliance of Order. The commanders of the Forces of Order have decided to withdraw into a tighter area that is easier to defend, and they have chosen the ruins of a nearby abandoned city as they reposition. The Forces of Destruction try to take the same ground. If they win, the Forces of Order will establish a new stronghold that is easier to defend. If they lose, they will be kept on the move and their new territory will be overrun before they can secure it. So for this army list, it is 3 hero types and 5 troops types of your choice. Alliance of Destruction. A destruction force has been dispatched to disrupt the Order army that seems to be trying to establish a stronghold within the ruins of a city of Sigmar. If they win, the destruction force will prevent the establishment of new fortifications and keep the Order army on the move. If they fail, the Order force will dig into the ruins and will no doubt prove to be much harder to remove in future. And the same army composition, 3 heroes and 5 troops choices. So, here we go. So we're using all 4 battle mats in a quad again. And we've got 4 objective markers. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1 of the ruins. By this time you'll have 2 ruins, okay, but we're only using 1. And then basically each force deploys in opposite corners to each other, okay. Then you have Ian and Eve in their playthrough, and then summing up, we've got Iron Skulls boys. Now I've had a quick look at that sprue, and that looks like it's another Warcry band because you've got the bases included on it as well, and then some paint in the next one. So let's have a look at the plastic quickly. I'm not going to build this. We've already built it. I'm not going to build this again, but you can have a look at one of the finished article. Ta-da. So yeah, this is a, where's the type gone? 2021 sculpt, and it's actually not too bad. It's actually really nice detail. The bucket comes in 2 halves, which is great, and you get a little platform with some tools, a little bit of mortar on it, and then everything else. The only thing I will say is just be aware of the ropes and stuff, like say for example here, this bucket is only held on by this rope, so just be, when you're removing mould lines, just to be ultra careful. My recommendation is to scrape the edge of the rope to remove the mould lines whilst it is on the sprue and it's supported, the bucket's supported by these 2 here. Once that's done, just be careful to removing sprue gates from the bucket, okay. Yeah, otherwise it's pretty good. So I've got one that I've pre-built. This was the one we built last time, and this is what it looks like built. Now there is an issue with some gap here, so I will be getting some filler. The reason I haven't proceeded any further with painting is because I need to get a little bit of filler to just fill that gap there, and just a little bit on the inside. So that's the corner section. But that and it's the same, almost similar on this corner here, but that is kind of part of the course. So if you wanted it at more of a right angle, you know, which I did. I wanted this to be at right angles and squared off. Then I got the gaps. So the gaps will need filling at the earliest opportunity. I need to order some model filler. I think Hella do one, or Revel do a tube of model filler that I've used for model kits in the past. It stinks to high heaven, but it's pretty good, pretty flexible. It's just a paste. Just squeeze it out, spread it in. So I'm going to use that, and then once that's done, we're all good to go. But that is what your building scenery piece will look like. Okay, right, hopefully you'll join me in the next video. All right, take care, bye-bye.